see my screen now?
हाँ जी, आपकी स्क्रीन दिखाई दे रही है।
Good. So इसमें आगे एक या दो वीडियो है, अगर चल गए तो ठीक है, नहीं तो फिर then we'll go to next part. No issue. ठीक है?
ठीक है।
Okay. So this is me, Vivek Hosing, pass out in 1992 from MT, and after that worked in mostly in marketing, business development, and in general management. Worked with different companies like Kirloskar Brothers Limited for centrifugal pumps, Crane Process Flow, Pharma division for their diaphragm valves as a business development manager, and now working in Gia Westphalia Separators for their FLC division. So in India, I started the business for this FLC division in 2012, and then since then we are doing quite good in this field. So generally there are three things. One is valves, cleaners and pumps. Then you have pipes, and then you have different fittings, which makes the whole to facilitate the process. Our this hygienic valve technology finds its use in dairy for milk, yogurt, cheese, milk and milk products, food like sauce and pastes, other baby foods, powders like that. And then the best of all is uh, our valves and other equipments are used in production of beer also, which I like the most. And then biotechnology, pharmaceuticals for home care and personal care products like shampoo, lotions, toothpaste, and all those things, and then production of animal foods. Here, thing is that we require a process where the cleanliness is very important when you do one batch of production, and then you start the other batch of production. Before that, the entire process pipeline should be very clean. So this is the general P&ID where the actual work starts at the engineering centers. They make a P&ID that what all products are going to be made, and then based on this, we come at the place where we select the valves and tell them which valve is going to work at what place. The basic, very basic requirements of hygienic equipments, whether it is valves, pumps, fittings. So it is a European Hygiene Engineering Design Group approval, which is EHEDG approval. So this tells that your equipment should be so easy to clean as a piece of pipe. So they have their own tests that they carry out in your facilities, and then they give you the approval for EHEDG. So they generally conduct EHEDG tests. Most of the product vetted parts are in low carbon stainless steel due to the fact that during the process we have e-tables and other things, so it should not get contaminated with the rust and all. Non-vetted parts are also stainless steel so that there is no carbon contamination to the main products, main parts where we have product contact. Then we have very specific gaskets which are as per FDA list, which is EPDM, Viton, HNBR, PTFE, and whatever housings and other things are there in that should be drainable and cleanable. So the height should be there equal to the pipes, and there no domes or sumps are allowed, so that there would not be any stagnant product which can develop bacteria. So what happens is that the customer sources his equipments, whether it is pumps from company A, valves from company B, pipes from company C, and fittings from company D. So he has to specify which dimensional standard he wants to refer to and wants to use in his plant, so that every component which is coming from different sources should match with each other, and there should be no problem to weld them together, or join them together, and then 90% of Indian go for 3A inch size or BS 4285, 4825, whereas in European countries they go for DIN 11850. I have not seen any case of IPS as of now. So we have different type of valves. So this is single seat valves, which are basically for isolation purpose. Then we have mixed proof valves, which are there to facilitate the handling of more than one product simultaneously. And these are tank bottom valves. So in the tank, these are flush mounted, so that there is no stagnancy in the pipeline. So these black things are control module, which sends the signal and operates the valve, which this control module has got proximity switches. It has got solenoid valves, which operates the valve. So these are actuators. These actuators are air and spring actuators. So generally the valves are closed or open with the help of spring, and when you if the valve is in off position, you supply air, then the valve actuates, and it goes to the other position. Like if it is closed, then it will open. So these are air versus spring actuators. These are lanterns. So because many times we have to clean the pipe with hot water, and if hot media is there, so we generally keep a distance for the actuator, so that the heat is dissipated before it reaches the actuators to for its longer life. Then we have housings. Then these are wall inserts. So when any leakage is there, it comes down from here. And based on the customer's requirement of his routing, there are so many different type of housings available, like A, B, C, E that you are seeing. So based on the customer's process and instrumentation diagram, we select these valves. So this is how they look internally. So you can see generally you will find the walls, they are generally isolating the lines in line, but here the isolation is being done in step. So let us say that there is a product flowing in the lower one, and it keeps going. When the product is required to be sent to the upper line also, so the wall is actuated, and all the 4 ports are connected. So this is just an example of 2 different type of bodies. So these are the cross-sectional views of different valves. So this is a mixed roof valve. Here you can find there are 2 different incompatible media on the top housing and the bottom housing. And if for example, the red one can be a CIP liquid, like mild acid or something, and the bottom one, yellow color, could be milk or shampoo or anything. So if there is a leakage in that top seal, so it should not get mixed with the yellow liquid. It gets drained through the bottom, and we come to know that there is a leakage, and we can stop the production and change the sealings. So that's why this is called mixed roof valves. Then we have actuator, like I told you before. The actuators are air plus spring. So currently the spring is pushed down, so the valve is closed. The moment you give air, this diaphragm will push with the help of air the spring to upside, and then we can open the what you call it, valve. So spring will be compressed. So this is another typical diverter valve. So if you see from the middle portion, one time the upper port is open, when we actuate the valve, this seat will go and isolate the upper one, and then the discharge for the product would be from the bottom. So we have different type of valves, which is like one is diverting, one inlet and two different outlet. It can be two different inlet and one outlet, and then you have so many K, V, P, O. These are a nomenclature of for different housings, depending on how the engineer has set the process. These are normal inline butterfly valves. So let me see if this is working. Can you see?
No,
Video.
No, Vivek.
no video.
No video is coming?
No.
Okay. Now?
Yes, now it is okay. दिख
Yeah.
रहा है.
So you can see that there are, this is how we call this a wall matrix. So different type of walls are put there. On the tank, one tank there is a cleaning going on. So I'll just fast forward it. So this is the mix-proof wall which we were talking about 2 minutes back, and so two different type of media liquid products are going. And if at all some seal gets leaked at one place, so it should not mix with the other one. Otherwise, the entire batch will be rejected, contaminated. Of course. So yes, sir, contaminated. So this is how it happens. And if you open the valve, the total 4 compartments get mixed together.
Connected.
So connected. Yes. So this is how it is. So probably we'll go to the next slide. Okay. You can see the slide? No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So these were about the valves. Now there are some in any process you require to have some measuring instruments like pressure gauge, temperature transmitter. And the idea is that you have to put it in the line in such a way that entire line has to be cleaned. There should be no trace of the old product which can lead to the contamination. I would put it in a very simple domestic example, like every day we take the doodh from doodhwala in a stainless steel utensil, and when next day we go take the milk again, it is always in a very washed and very clean container, right? Similar is the process here in our house. It will be a 2 liter or 3 liter wastage. There it is matter of lakhs of liter. So that's how these instruments have been designed, so that there are no subs or domes when you put the instrumentation. You can see it, right? So yeah, so after this then the cleaning has to be done for the equipment. Like there are tanks, so I mean any dairy or anything is full of tanks. So when we clean anything, we need time, we need temperature of the cleaning solution, whether it is chemical or mechanical action, like we have to mechanically scrape it or something. So the idea is we have to use less time. If we provide more action, the time will be less, temperature would be needed less, and we will have effective cleaning with less of chemicals. So we provide these 3 type of rotating cleaners and stationary cleaners. These are rotating cleaners, these are orbital jet cleaners, and these are stationary cleaners, depending on the product which we have to clean. If it is a simple milk, normally stationary cleaner will help. But if it is a big tank like 10 meters or something, we may need a rotating cleaner or jet cleaner so that it is cleaned in faster and effective way. So generally, how do we select the cleaners? Is that we have a pressure on the horizontal axis and flow rate in the vertical axis, so that we know how much flow rate will consume how much water. And with the same pressure, let us say if it is 6 bar pressure, then 6 bar pressure will be able to clean approximately 10 meter of radius. So this is how we select the cleaners to ensure that the cleanliness is getting completed. Then we have one small video again. Not able to see still?
Yeah, we are able to see.
अभी ठीक है. हाँ.
So this is a typical silo, and then you have a cleaner installed inside. You just have to give water at specified pressure, and then the jet starts rotating both on horizontal and vertical axis and cleans the entire tank in entirety. So you can generally first they will pass some weak acid and then rinsing liquid like water, and so it is able to withstand that. So this is how.
Vivek, can I ask question right here?
Please.
Is there any connectivity with the viscosity of the fluid which has been already passed for cleaning? Because there could be different fluids which are passing.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Sir,
Yeah.
the easiest liquid could be milk, raw milk, and that very tough liquid could be toothpaste.
Correct.
So based on that, sometimes even if the diameter of every tank, generally for paste it will not be 10 meter, it will be generally 1 meter or 1.5 meter. But still we have to use the orbital cleaner, which is a jet cleaner. So based on the application dimension, we have to choose the optimum solution for that, sir.
Okay. So you take the design consideration. I mean, you do the design consideration based on the viscosity of the fluid which is getting passed
Yeah,
through the tanks.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And generally we have experience for certain, so based on that also. But yes, of course, both things have to be taken in consideration: the tank dimension and what is the product there.
Right.
Vivek, it's about cleaning of the tank. How do you clean the pipes?
Okay. In the pipes, it is generally by flowing different kind of liquids. Like first you have to pass mild acid, and then you have to pass water, and then you take a swab at the end of the tubes, and generally that is called CIP, clean in place. So whatever CIP you pass through the pipeline, CIP liquids you pass through the pipeline, it cleans the intermediate equipments also. So generally it is by rinsing.
Right. So do you have a methodology to say that what cleanliness levels have been achieved? Say something some test which can tell that okay, you've reached to so much ppm levels of cleanliness. Now you can change over to another product.
Generally, sir, they will take a swab, and then if they don't find any product particle there, so they will they have
They approve the changeover then.
yes, sir.
Okay.
So this is how it is, and then probably because the tank is closed, right? So there are chances that we have given it pressure from the inlet, water from the inlet, and whether it is rotating or not rotating, we never know. So there are sensor. You can see this sensor is there, which is there. So it has to be hit by the water jet after a certain point of time, and it will keep on giving signals to the control unit that yes, it is working. So
And what is the maximum pressure levels you go?
generally we go up to 6 bar, but it is available up to 8 bars, 8 bar to 10 bar also. But generally we have seen for toothpaste also by 6 bar it's okay. So this is all internal. You get all spare parts. So if something goes wrong inside, you don't need to change the entire setup that way. So,
What is the material you use in these?
sir, this is SS316L again.
Okay.
What is the shelf life of this equipment, Vivek?
Generally,
How
I
many
have
years?
seen. Yeah, generally I have seen. I mean, with the change of some, elastomers, it goes on for 5 years, 6 years, like that. The first one which I have sold, I mean, not good for business, but but it goes on
Maximum.
for 6 years, 7 years, unless it is really handled in some different way. Like some people may try to rotate with its nozzles, so that way.
And
So
what about that the competition about, like, if you are getting all the material from imports,
yeah.
so there is any alternate also other than you,
Sir,
because you are also not.
yeah. Local people are there. What happens is, you see, this is a rotating equipment, right? So our local competitors are using ball bearings in that. So over a period of time, like 6 months, 7 months, that ball bearings are getting rusted, and it's malfunctioning. For us,
Yeah,
we
it
are
is.
using a hydrodynamic PTFE bearing in there,
Mhm.
which assists it in rotation. So it keeps on. So it is about the customer. See, what happens is, it always is economy of scale. What is your producing? There is a company which has, let us say, uh, 2 lakh or 5 lakh liter per day capacity of processing the milk. So they may be still able to halt the production, change the equipments and all those things. But some of the Amul plants who are processing more than 50-60 lakh liter of milk per day, they cannot go with such product. So that's how it is. Everybody has its market in India.
Okay.
Okay, Vivek.
Yeah, and so the last one is product recovery system. This is generally when we have produced a complete batch. Let us say, whether it is shampoo, lotion, butter, or anything that is viscous which does not flow on its own. Then if you are not able to recover that product from the pipeline, the last thing would be the packaging line, right? So in the packaging line, there would be a tank where the finished product is there. In front of that would be a pump which will be delivering the finished product for bottling or packaging. So that line could be anything between 5 meter, 10 meter, 20 meter, depending on situation there. And once the finished good tank is empty, the entire pipeline is filled with uh, whatever material. And generally, the shampoo and these materials are very costly material. We all know it. So we manufacture a system called product recovery system, where we have a pig which is of the size of the pipeline, like whatever pipeline you have installed in your place. Matching to that pig is there, which can push the material out so that you have maximum recovery. It helps first of all to uh, you know make less loss of the product. Second thing, if you have to lose all this product, it has to go to your ETP, so the ETP load will be very high. So
So how do you how do you push the product out? Is it through
yeah, okay,
by pushing the air?
Coming to that, sir. Yeah. So generally, if you will see, this is the launching station where this blue pig is sitting. Beyond that, there are two, driving medium. Two walls are there, and the product is coming straight from here. And once the production is complete, they will sense that now the push has to be done. So these two, inclined pig stopper will retract, and the air or water will come through these two upper walls and push the pig through this, and it will be captured here, where the pig receiving station, and the product will be pushed out from the other side. So I have a small video for this also. You can see that?
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the pig station. Then these are the pig driving valves. This is the production line, and this is at the end. That is the catching pipe, and you can see there are some proximity switches are there which detect the station of the pig. So this is how the pig there. Then this is your production going on. Let us say it can be shampoo or anything. So it passes through the pig also. Pig is in the system itself inside. So you don't have to do it again and again. Once the production is finished, the pig is pushed into the position, and then the pig is pushed with the help of air, and it can go through the bend and all those things, and then it rests here. So your product is recovered, and we are getting most of our orders from this Hindustan Unilever world over, and this is very effective system. And then you can send the pig back to the original position.
How do you send it back? Through suction?
No, not suction. There is another two set of valves which supply either water or air to send it back. And this is somebody asked the question, how do you rinse the pipe? So this is how first they send some weak acid or something like that, and then it is cleaning the pipe and the intermediate equipments there. So this is how they clean the pig and the pipeline.
During the cleaning of either the tank or the pipeline is done during the changeover of the product, or even during the changeover of the water also is cleaning.
I am not able to hear your voice, brother.
Okay, Vivek, my question is it fine now?
Yeah, now it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So Vivek, my question was that the cleaning of the tank and the cleaning of the pipeline, is it done during the changeover of the product, or is it also done during the changeover of the box?
I'm sorry, boss. आपका आवाज बिल्कुल नहीं आ रहा है. मतलब थोड़ा
I'm not able to hear you.
Okay, please continue.
Yeah. So this was it. Very short presentation, but these are all the valves and other products which we sell. And if any more questions are there, then please.
So Vivek ji, Praveen here.
Praveen ji.
सर मैंने आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन सॉरी पूरा नहीं ज्वाइन कर पाया बीच में आई गॉट लिटिल लेट बट मेरा एक आउट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी वन क्वेश्चन है व्हाट इज द रीजन ऑफ नेमिंग दिस सिस्टम एज पिग एमसे जो क्लीनिंग का जो आपका करता है इज देयर एनी स्पेसिफिक रेफरेंस पॉइंट फॉर दैट और इट इज
नहीं उसके अगर पैर लगा दे तो पिग जैसा दिखेगा, बस दैट्स ऑल, नथिंग एल्स.
अच्छा ऐसा है, okay. That's why it's called pig. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Vivek, two questions more. Sorry, I'm bothering you just out of my
No,
curiosity again.
please.
One is, who's your competition in India?
In India, sir, if we say competition, you might have heard of Alpha Laval.
Alpha Level is there, yes.
Yeah, then there is a company called SPX.
Okay.
Then there
So
is,
are you to the levels of Alpha Level?
we are a bit costlier than that, sir.
Okay. So you are Mercedes of the.
मैं अपनी
product
कंपनी को
range.
बोल रहा हूँ उसकी, भाई ये मर्सिडीज है ठीक है, बट इसका ग्राउंड क्लियरेंस कम करो, बेचने में दिक्कत होती है.
आपकी कंपनी का नाम क्या है? गिया है?
हाँ, गिया.
Gia is a high-end brand, sir, compared to Alpha Level.
I
Alpha
don't
is
know.
a commercial range.
I just know about Alpha Level, yes.
Yeah. Alpha Laval has got a very big product basket as compared to Gia.
Right.
Gia is normally very specialized into certain verticals, while Alpha Level has a very wide prospects of
Very wide.
verticals.
Yes, absolutely.
The second question was that all these process plants, do you get involved right from the design stage, or what is it?
Generally, what happens, sir, ki if the engineering companies are old, so they know it already. But generally, what happens, we reach them out during the P&ID BOQ stage, when they are making the BOQ, so we can insert some of the products which the customers, the competitors do not have, not more than that. Once their P&ID is ready, then we give them the equipment details.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not involved in the when they are making the P&I.
No. When they make the P&ID, then we tell them which are the walls which you can use in utilities, like where there will not be any product, but what are the walls you can use and save money, like that.
Okay.
After the P&ID is made, yes, sir.
Thank you. That's all from my side.
So any more question from participant side? Vivek ji, I am having one question.
Please.
That is about reliability. कि अगर मान लीजिए कोई कंपोनेंट किसी कारण से खराब हो जाता है, या मतलब कि हम चाहते हैं कि वो खराब ना हो, बेसिकली रिलायबिलिटी को इनहेंस करें, तो रिलायबिलिटी के लिए हम क्या क्या स्टेप्स ले सकते हैं?
देखिए, सबसे जो इनिशियल स्टेप है वो है आपका R&D. तो मतलब हाउ मच यू पुट योर प्रोडक्ट्स विच यू आर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग into testing day in and day out. So I'll tell you what Gia does it, that in one of the its plants, they will put their equipments, each type of it, and then the competitor's equipment, and they will run it for day and night. Then they will clock, let us say they will clock 10,000 on off for a particular valve. Then they will dismantle it, what is going on with this seal, that seal, what is going on with the spring and everything. So this is how they test it.
So you sort of that means you're sort of doing an endurance, an accelerated endurance analysis.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead. You were wanting to answer. Then
I think that is what I wanted to. If I hope that satisfies Mr. Mittal's answer.
Okay, sir. That is very satisfactory answer. I have one more little question. Suppose I am not having any knowledge about pneumatic valve.
Okay.
And I want to go for some design of the pneumatic valve, or I am having some knowledge about pneumatics, but not about valve.
Okay.
Then how can I proceed, or is there some data book which we can refer for the selection of the pneumatic valve or something, this kind of thing I wish to know?
Yeah, actually, first of all, pneumatic valve, when you say pneumatic valve, first of all, you have to really find out for which segment you want to design that pneumatic valve. The pneumatic valves are available for utility segment as well, this segment as well, which we just have seen, hygienic segment, as well as oil and gas segment. So based on that, what are going to be the pressure different parameters in our industry? The line pressures are never more than 3 or 4 kg. But whereas if you are devising a pneumatic actuator for a higher pressure size, then the actuators are going to be very big, either in diameter or in length and weight. So that would be the starting point. And right now I cannot, I don't have any idea whether there are any books or something which I'll definitely find out.
Let me answer to Nikhilji. Nikhilji, there are 2-3 aspects to it, because one could be this process industry, what he's saying. So these applications are totally different. अब मैं आपको बताता हूँ, हमारा रेलवे इंडस्ट्री में भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर वाल्व्स आते हैं, तो वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर वाल्व्स भी as he was saying 3 to 4 kg, हमारे वाले जो है 10 kg प्रेशर तक जाते हैं. And the cleanliness is equally important, not from the standpoint of that you are the product coming in contact is which is required for our domestic consumption or for human beings, but it is for brake application. Lekin cleanliness usme bhi chahiye, pressures are high. The distributor valve application is different based on pneumatics again. So it depends on industry to industry, but ऐसा वो नहीं है कि एक जगह पे सब इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगी. ये एप्लीकेशन पे डिपेंडेंट है. नॉर्मली आपने सुना होगा फेस्टो जो है नॉर्मल इंडस्ट्रियल एप्लीकेशंस के लिए, Festo is one company which is having wide range and which gives you in one catalog everything. I mean, one book they will tell you about all.
Billions of products.
They have millions of products on there. So this depends on industry to industry, application to application.
So
I hope I have been partially able to answer you.
Yes, sir. That was very informative. I will be discussing something about this with you later on, because I am working on valve being used in railway. So I will be discussing separately with this. Thank you. Thank you, Vivek ji. Is there any more question from participant side?
Yeah, just one question. This Rajkumar, this side, Vivek. So, if customers do any slight change in the chemical composition of the product, do they need to get it verified from you? Is there your valve compatible, or let's say your valve has got wide range of flexibility and anybody can,
No,
sorry?
I understand. In our segment, generally there are two type of material used. 99% of the time SS316L is used, okay, and 0.5% of time either 904L or AL6XN material is used for the product wetted pass. Where if you see now we are getting liquid detergents in our homes. Earlier it was only powder, right? So there is some product which is added into that to handle that product, which is very very corrosive. So you have to have very special material. Second thing is, you know about this tomato juice, tomato ketchup.
Right.
Tomato ketchup has got salt in that. So for that you cannot, you can use 316L, but the life would be less. So based on what product you have, we can suggest you but a lot of time the companies are not sharing the product details with us, especially for the ingredients. So it is in their purview and their engineering companies purview to advise us if they want standard material or what they want.
Okay, right. So just another question. So a company like Amul in one bottling plant. So what kind of business do you have with them? Like it's a very good big business.
I'll just say that just a month back we had the entire project from them for 100 crores for the project group, and out of that 100 crore, our share for pumps and valves was around 9 to 10 crores.
Okay.
So this is typical, and they are setting up a 1 million liter per day plant at some place. Yeah.
Anything covered under the clause of warranty if there is any malfunction happens and customer is at loss or some a bulk quantity get contaminated?
Yeah. See, generally what we have limited liability clause. So we take कि भाई हमारा जो equipment है वो 2 लाख रुपए का है और उसमें कुछ आपका हो गया कि 2 लाख लीटर दूध खराब हो गया या 100 लीटर शैम्पू खराब हो गया, तो हम आपको मैक्सिमम 2 लाख रुपए के लिए देनदार रहेंगे, सारे उसका नहीं करेंगे. This is the clause which we, but I mean, going as far the experience is concerned, I mean, nothing such we have experienced so far.
Right. Thank you, Vivek. That's
Thank
all
you.
from me.
Thank you. Thank you.